Yo, what's up, everybody?
Yo, what up?
Welcome to the Go Home Show.
The Go Home Show after the eventful week known as Mania Week.
And guess what? We're not even canceled yet, so we made it to episode 2. It's a good thing.
No ECW flow over here. Now, before we get into
You mean that TNA shit?
TNA's still alive, man.
It's surprising.
TNA is the promotion
They're still floating somehow.
that could. But how was everybody's Mania Week? General thoughts, views, liked it, loved it.
I'm still trying to recover from it.
Yes, Chris was everywhere.
I was everywhere. I was. One thing definitely. Kudos to everybody who did follow the quite adventurous week from Mania. Everyone who looked at our page. Again, it's the Go Home Show on Instagram. We also are streaming on Spotify, the SoundCloud. It's not only just for rappers, and we got some stuff going up on YouTube.
And follow us also on Twitter at Go Home Show _podcast.
Getting all these plugs and looking professional out here.
For real. All we need is the sponsors now.
We'll be on iTunes next shortly.
That's iTunes, that Apple.
The plug is going to be everywhere.
The Go Home Show is coming for you.
Just be patient with us. We'll be there.
We'll be there. But yeah, I loved it. Mania weekend. I don't know how you guys felt, but I felt like it was really a great weekend from top to bottom. WWE, indie, and just like fan vibe wise. Like I really felt it this year. I don't know if it's because it was New York and I was able to like be around it a little bit, but I really liked this weekend. This weekend was really good.
I feel like you really got to train like months in advance for Mania week. Like I wasn't there, but I felt tired for Chris. Like after like Mania was over, I was like, yo, I'm calling it a week. Like I'm not doing nothing for the rest of the week. I don't even want to call into work. Like, how you felt about that, Chris?
I'm sorry, what?
How did you feel about Mania week? Like how was your body feeling after that?
I've been very grateful to say that at the age of 32, I still have some good health. And I've been training for this for quite a long time. So this week definitely showed how much of a vet I'm really honestly am.
The vet.
I'm a vet
OG.
at this. I knew a couple people who was their first ones, and they were like, how the fuck do you guys do this shit every fucking year?
Yeah. And they kind of coming in when Mania's kind of get a little bit longer.
Exactly, but it's just besides the fact of Mania itself, it's just the whole week. It's an awesome, great experience. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to see. It is a lot to take in.
Mm-hmm.
After you do it a couple of times, you know where to prioritize your whole week. Especially people who do the packages. The packages, honestly, that's big key unless it's in your hometown, and you can kind of just plan on how you want to do things, especially if you've done it before. But I always say just you got to take that one day, which is always that Monday after Mania. You need to decompress before Raw. You definitely need to decompress before Raw. But you also want to kind of get that extra day or two in just to kind of like really take in the city sites.
Y'all feel like that before Raw probably is like a good day to really just like get away from wrestling a little bit, and just like check out.
Especially if you decide to kind of do maybe like a 5-day. Maybe you want to like come in on a Thursday, or maybe leave that Wednesday. It's honestly legit. It's a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's really how you decide to do things. Maybe you kind of just want to like maybe sell off whatever it is that you have and just like try to enjoy whatever town you're in. But they get you with these heavy hitters. They really do. So it's a lot to take in. We got next year we got Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa trying to some big surprises. Hopefully
We'll be there next year.
Next year is the goal.
I know I will. I know one thing I'm definitely doing. I'm definitely holding about at least 1 or 2 beach days. So you definitely will be seeing me somewhere in Clearwater with a cigar, and definitely I'm gonna just probably bringing in some hard heavy liquor. I'm gonna be lounging at that beach.
That's the only way to do it, man.
That's the only way to do it. You gotta live life.
I like that. I like when Manias go to like cities that kind of have like a little leisure, a little like nightlife. Like we talked about last episode, with like New Orleans was like a good city. So I even think about that. Tampa with the beaches, like chill out a little for
I know
shows.
front runner right now for 37.
LA, right?
It's LA. Nothing has been confirmed. But
most likely,
I love me some
Is that
SoCal
for
weather.
Coliseum or
No. Since they're building the new stadium out
Stadium?
there,
Yeah.
The new Ram Stadium?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they opened it already. No, not yet. So
No. They're,
okay.
Everyone is separate right now. Some are doing the Coliseum. The Chargers are doing theirs where the Galaxy plays, which is going to be just a little bit outside. But they're basically going to be sharing the same stadium. That's apparently front runner. Rumors have it. Won't be surprised if after that, maybe Vegas. I don't know if
38.
Some of these people are ready for Vegas.
Nah, Vegas is going to Mania. I'll be there.
Vegas or Atlanta. I want to put that out there.
I'll be buying my ticket before Chris if it goes to Vegas.
I'm pretty sure there will be a certain gentleman's club in Atlanta. If it tends to happen, that will be popping.
Magic City, baby.
Magic City.
I feel like that's the right way to go with Mania. Like, give us the city has to have bring something to it.
You don't want to talk about New Orleans last year.
Oh man,
that need to be 40.
Oof.
I feel like maybe that should be the new New York, New Orleans every 10 years.
Probably.
Maybe.
I saw some things that no man should see. Honestly,
a lot of people saying for New Orleans last year it was easier going because a lot of stuff was so close. And you could just walk to everything.
Yeah.
Compared to the city and stuff like that. Like, so you have some events in Brooklyn, some in Queens.
Yeah, some in Queens. Some were deep in Queens.
Parts of Queens we never even seen before.
But no, it was all good. Great weekend. We want to kick things off with Thursday. Chris checked out Axxess, and then me and Malcolm was at WaleMania. Shout out to those guys. It was a really fun event. But I want to get into Axxess first. Chris, was like your thoughts, vibes? How did you like it compared to other years?
What can I honestly say about Axxess? Travel-wise, this was unnecessary. It was literally in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, because it was by the pier, by the water.
Yeah, it was in Pier 12 in Red Hook. And anyone who, especially from New York, you know how deep Red Hook is. It's legit taking like 19 trains and a bus to get there.
It's like going to Jersey, right?
Nah, it honestly is. It's dope. It's very it's more like a neighborhood event, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But for a lot of people who are not from there, who've never probably been the first time in New York, you're probably like, where are they sending me to? All I remember was literally taking. I thought I was kind of running a little late, so I ended up taking an Uber from there. It wasn't really that expensive, but it's deep when your Uber literally takes you local. And there's no way to get there. There's really no way to get there by like a freeway or nothing like that. It's like, nah, homie, we going there local. And this is the best route at this time. But it was literally it was literally out there. I know that this was actually a problem for everyone who was organizing it, logistically wise. This was probably one of the toughest manias that they had.
Yeah.
To organize, because there was, it would have made more sense if they had it at the Javits Center.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a couple of things going on. I know they had their a tattoo convention that was there that weekend. They had something else. I know they even had a mommy convention somewhere up on at the Hyatt. So a lot of stuff that could have been in the city was definitely tough. I know people who ended up getting packages. Some people were staying in Manhattan. Some people were actually staying in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
You telling me Vince couldn't outbid all those spots?
But they booked an event, especially for the Jacob Javits.
Yeah,
you can't you can't bully your way. You can't WCW this one. You ain't doing that to mommy.
But looking like Sin Cara over there. Nah, but it was definitely tough. Like, I know that first session was from 6 to 10, so it would have been cool if that ferry was working.
Oh, I forgot the ferry one's over.
Yeah, but unless you're going to like Bay Ridge, that ride wasn't filling for you if you're trying to get into the city. Like, the last one was around like 9 o'clock. So you were pretty much messed up.
I think because I shopped outside of Barclays before NXT TakeOver.
The night of?
Yeah. So, and I saw they had like shuttle buses saying, so they wasn't like bringing any people back. It was just like a one-way?
Yeah.
Ooh. Damn, Vince.
No. It was actually
round trip.
It was actually round trip.
Oh, okay.
I saw some people take buses, but I wasn't sure if it was where it was coming from.
Yeah, it was coming from Barclays.
Oh, that would have been actually pretty dope. I saw some coach buses, and I thought that maybe people who had packages, maybe they had some sort of way to get in there, but I didn't know that they had that going from Barclays. So that was actually pretty cool. If I would have known, I would have hopped on that because I know that MTA bus. especially in Red Hook, is running every 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to be in Red Hook every 20, 30 minutes.
Nah, but no. This isn't like 1980s Red Hook when the shit was dangerous. We're living in modern times where it's mostly a lot of hipsters.
That's where Taz is from. Shout out to Taz.
Yeah. Taz.
That's from Mr. Red Hook boy. How was I always want to ask you, how was the merch store, like the superstore? How was that looking like?
Oh boy, the one thing that pops out for me, so they actually had the skull, kind of like a voodoo skull, with the whole, they had the WrestleMania 35 logo plastered all over it. They ain't gonna play me. I saw exactly what they did. I saw the exact same shit in NOLA last year. Which made sense. This made absolutely no sense.
They just took all the old skulls from inventory from last year.
They was like painted over.
I was like, you can't sell skulls in New York. Like that's not a New York kind of thing.
Vinnie Mac still needs to support that XFL league. So he was just like, nah,
paint them scales.
This ain't hitting no outlets. This ain't going to Africa. This ain't going into no third world country.
Dust it off and bring it right back up.
Yo, just put 35 on it and call it a day. And that's exactly what it did. I started laughing. And I wasn't the only person who noticed this. There was actually this other girl she was like, this looks very familiar. Like, why? It's like, and I explained it to her. She was like, oh my God, like I was there. And I was like, exactly. This has no New York theme other than you plastering the 35 logo on there and putting the exact 4/7/2019 date on it. Like, let's be honest.
Shout out to the painters. But I know you saw there was no El Idolo merchandise. I'm surprised by that. Andrade, like,
what a disappointment.
Like, not even a shirt at the
No
Superstore?
Respect, I'll tell you. No respect.
Come on. He's with the top girl right now. And
he is with the top girl. We'll get into that later.
We'll get into
that
later.
That should be like a good thing.
If y'all not caught up to this, y'all find out later. Let's just say she's more of a legacy than anything else.
Definitely true. I want to say how for the stuff that you saw people buying, who were people buying the most of? Lynch, Undisputed Era, who's getting like the merch?
Honestly, it was actually mixed of all over the place. Because it's also the first day, so you don't really get to really see who's buying what. A lot of people normally go in there for like a lot of stuff that you probably won't see anywhere else. So like, like maybe little accessory items. So they actually even have like really cool action figures that they won't sell anywhere else. So it's kind of not to say that it's exclusive, but it's usually tough to find in a specific place. I remember they actually had the Kurt Angle action figure from where he replaced Roman when Roman went down with the
shield get up.
What was it? What he went down for? Like
measles?
Survivor
Series?
Meningitis. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
So they literally had the smug face. So I'm actually gonna be posting that up very soon on the gram. I thought it was hilarious. It actually had the same look.
Look out for it.
The same look, and I thought it was hilarious. Same one with Braun Strowman destroying the car. I don't know how they whipped that up that fast, but they got it done.
No, that's lit.
The setup itself for Axxess, pros and cons on it. It was way too small. It was actually one place, but it was actually divided into two, and a lot of people didn't know that. But it was actually kind of cool at the same time because instead of having each individual wrestler kind of have their own table, they kind of just bunched them up together. So if you hit up one line, you were going to see about 4 or 5 different guys.
Okay, just go down the line.
What was the best spots in there?
In terms of what?
Just in terms of where to go for the tables to see the wrestlers.
It was the tables were just to kind of see some of these guys. It was long. It was there was these long lines. It was because it was also short, so it was very congested. The only thing I was actually able to do was to meet up EC3 and DDP. So it was actually also cool because I got to chat it up with EC3 a little bit. Told him how I met up at NOLA last year. And I was like, yeah, I bumped into you last year. You were wearing this Austin shirt. And he was just like, yeah, was that after TakeOver? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, I was already celebrating. I was kind of already, I was already out of it.
Shout out to EC3.
So, so shout out to him. Posted up the photo. He definitely put up a nice like on that. So major kudos.
Okay.
That's good.
DDP was also pretty fucking cool to do.
No, I feel like he has a good energy, DDP.
DDP was there. Another one who always going to have like an awesome vibe, awesome energy is going to be my man Teddy Long.
Woo!
Holla, holla, holla. Nah, Teddy was dope. He always gonna have that same energy, no matter where he's at. He was interacting with everybody. Axxess overall, venue wise, it was shite. But everything was cool. Like they really did a lot to try to bring the community in. Like they had like local food trucks in there.
Oh, that's dope.
Normally a lot of places they kind of serve like that shitty pizza from like like you go to a convention, they just have like their food.
With a shitty catering and
exactly.
stuff like that.
Now this like everyone came in, like you had like the empanada truck there, you had Korean barbecue, you had that grilled cheese. Like they actually brought in a lot of local stuff, especially in Red Hook. If you wanted to get that that lobster roll, like they got you. So for me, my little fat boy side of me was just like, yo, this is actually cool. Did I go at it? Like, no. Still trying to cut those carbs, still working on
carbs.
Yeah.
Get our WrestleMania 36 bodies.
Hell
yeah. Tampa.
Trying to work on that EC3 abs. Alexa knows what I'm talking about. So I'm trying to get there. But it was cool. Got to see a couple of cool matches. They had current NXT stars going up against some of the alumni. So that was cool. It was nice seeing someone like Tyler Breeze go up against Roderick Strong.
Well, that sounds like a good match.
That was definitely a good match.
Any other matches stand out over there?
From that one?
Yeah.
I know that that was actually the main event.
Oh, okay.
You had Undisputed Era. I forgot who exactly they were going up against.
Stable?
No, actually they were going up against Sanity.
Oh.
So there was a sighting there, so they weren't completely like written off by creative. Yeah. They gave them a little, a little sun. A little shine.
I ain't forget about you.
Alexa Bliss was there. That fans were able to do a Q&A. Some fanboys were apparently pissed because, she came in like, regular girl. She just came in with a t-shirt, some jeans, and that's how she is.
Oh, they was expecting Alexa Bliss.
They were expecting like
a hopeful
a blissful moment. That's what they were expecting.
You're not getting that unless it's Sunday.
But she came in here, just like, and that's how she is. She's a very laid back chick. She's made it known that she's not that.
Not the character.
She's not that character. She's not gonna be walking around like one of the Bellas. Maybe
Shots fired.
Shots fired. We're not gonna, maybe we'll walk into that later. But other than that, like that was really kind of like my quick little takeover Axxess.
That was the first event. That was the kickoff.
That was the kickoff. That was definitely the kickoff.
Because it was cool. Like on our first night, we actually, if you guys checked out the Instagram feed, like our Instagram feed, the first 2-3 days was some like the best.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. It was all over New York. Like
we had Chris at Axxess, and then me and Malcolm was very cool. Like the first night we actually did the Instagram story. We was simulcast at WaleMania, which was a great night.
That was the started off for the night. Chris did the morning. We took the night.
It's like the night shift.
Yeah, I was still doing the evening night shift.
He was too, because I remember checking the stories. Like it would be like Roderick Strong kicking somebody, and the next thing was like Booker T coming on WaleMania. So
sipping on that Cavassier.
Shout out to Booker. He knows what cognac to drink. He was up in the corner with the wings, his wifey on the hip. They gave him his own little stands. He got up. Everybody that came on the stage was kissing the ring.
He was like King Booker.
Yeah, he was King Booker
and Queens.
But it was my first WaleMania. I've always heard about WaleManias once he first started it, and it was really cool to check out. Like it was really like, it started off slow. I'll give it that. But then when it really started to pick up, it picked up. So Wale, they really did his job.
When the alcohol started flowing.
Yeah, once everybody started feeling a little buzz, WaleMania really started.
Wale wasn't even supposed to come out yet, and he came out like early. He just couldn't wait. Like he came out.
He was like, "Fuck it,
it's a show. I would have done the same shit."
Yeah,
like you get tired of like backstage. Everybody like, come on, let's get this thing started.
Like we gonna get this shit popping.
Shout out to some of the rappers that was there, that big time fans of wrestling. Smoke Dizza.
Oh yeah, he was there.
West Side Gun.
Also saw Little C's. I saw him. He was a pitcher. He was on the ring on the stage. He was there.
After we left, we stood there for a while, but the Young Bucks came through. Chris and Neef.
Oh, word?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the Bucks were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the real OG Young Bucks.
Shout out to Leo Rush.
Oh yeah, Leo. He was there. Leo was shining. Like if he was at WaleMania, Leo was shining.
Oh, I heard Leo was walking around with the ladies.
Yeah, he was walking around.
He actually spoke to me and Terrence on our way out.
Yeah, we called Leo Rush at the end. Like, funny enough, he was looking for the exit while we was going to the exit. So.
We was about to take a flick, and he was just like, "Oh, I know where the exit is at."
Nah, real cool dude. It was really like fun. Like, you could tell like this wrestling, him being like on TV or on tour, hasn't really gone to his head. So shout out to Leo Rush.
It was just so fun to see so many wrestlers just laid back and just getting drunk. You know, they was not in character. Everybody was just having a good time.
Corey Graves had like a little pipe bomb moment. I don't know if we were able to say it. I think we should keep it to WaleMania because I don't know if it might catch on. But it was a pipe bomb moment that Corey Graves said. Malcolm, no. Started with a little theme song.
Word?
Yeah, word.
They just got a little fabulous.
Can you take a guess, Chris?
I mean, could have, a certain person be money?
Yeah, you say that. But it was dope the way he said it though. Like you could tell Corey
how
was
he
drinking.
said it. How he said it.
Let him know, Terrence. Nah, let him know.
He was just like, like the rumors, they are definitely true, and I am FABOU, like
LOUAS.
Everybody was like, oh, you could tell Corey Graves was lit.
That set the tone for the event for the night.
Yeah, once he dropped the pipe bomb, like the whole night changed after that. Like everybody was lit. Crime Time came through, MVP came through.
But shout out to the MVP of the night, Samoa Joe.
Oh yeah, Samoa Joe came through. He really got the crowd hype.
They was treating him like Hove in the building. He came through the stage.
I saw Homeboy was flashing up the rock.
Yeah, Samoa Joe, like, I don't know what they were serving back there, that Wale juice, but people was lit.
It was crazy because I saw Joe literally earlier that night at Axxess.
He was like that too, or nah?
Nah, he was like, yo, I'm just trying to get the fuck out of here.
He was just trying to wait till WaleMania later. That's it. But shout out to MVP. Speaking of juice,
he was at Axxess like, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
MVP did his interview, and he went through like his whole life story. Like he just didn't want to get on stage. He was just happy to be there. Like
also, Tyler Bate was there. Tyler Bate, he stood for a good while. He was nice. Tyler Bate.
Gotta say the drippiest in the crowd.
He was high fashion for real. He was high fashion.
He's like bringing a little bit of English strong style.
Shout out to Carly Caruso was there.
Yeah, she was there.
Oh,
she was there. She did Tupac changes off the dome.
Off the dome.
And she's a local girl too.
Yeah, you could tell she was lit. Like Malcolm said, like she was dressed for not a wrestling event.
She was definitely going out later on that night. I think her, Leo, and all of them was going to the same spot. Everybody was like a little dressed up,
as they should. And Tonga from BC was there, so it was good to see. It was for me personally, it was nice to see like a New Japan wrestler, kind of like not really a WWE event, but mostly WWE wrestlers, seeing like the brotherhood.
It was like, oh, okay.
It was funny because when they had the cameras, he did like stay to the side. So I guess Vince was like, all right, nobody from the other side pictured with our guys. But it was cool to see him there and interacting with everybody.
Nah, he's definitely one dude I definitely want to meet. Tongaloa.
And we also had to mention Kofi and the New Day came through.
Oh yeah, that really set the house. That was like,
it was definitely getting lit.
To prepare for the moment. Like I feel like Kofi. I don't know if they told him to finish before they landed in New York, but you could tell like everybody rooting for him was really starting to get to him and like really set the tone for the weekend.
Cause he was running a press run all day that day. He was like at Hot 97, a whole bunch of other spots. You could tell like he really wanted to be there. He was like, I finally get to like relax. Like he was up since like 6 in the morning.
Yeah, like this is the first event that
you could chill out.
He's actually was probably one of the main focal points.
Yeah, he was treated like top guy that day. He had to do the whole thing, the whole press run.
Shout out to Kofi, man. Shout out to Kofi. We're gonna get into that a little bit later, but shout out to Kofi. Malcolm, what was your final review of WaleMania? Liked it, loved
first time, definitely if they have it again in Tampa for WaleMania 6, I definitely will be there. Shout out to Wale. He's a big wrestling fan. It's not no fake gimmick or nothing. He's really into this. He appreciated everybody coming out. We appreciated him. I appreciated seeing all of our favorite wrestlers, having a good time. It was some of the fans were there. It was cool. It was the only funny thing. It was some people that was there for like the concert of Wale, and some people there for like wrestling.
Shout out Franchina.
So some people was like confused, like that black people would be at a wrestling event, and we was like, what? Yeah, we're here. Like we here. Like we know what's going on. We know the interview. We know who people's that are getting interviewed.
Wrestling is like music. It brings people together.
Yeah,
it does bring people together. People had like some drippy fits in there too. They had like kind of like the Bret Hart jacket you have, like some like Stone Cold. So it was dope in there.
I saw my girl Brittany out there looking kind of fine.
Yeah, shout out to Westside Gun with that chain.
Rocking a nice blue dress.
Now, when I say for WaleMania, I loved it. Like, it's my first time seeing Wale in person. And like Malcolm said, the environment, the vibe was really good. The only thing I had a problem with, I was trying to be like the upright citizen. I didn't bring any paraphernalia on me. I was like, I'm gonna
that
go
was
in.
a big thing.
I was like, I'm gonna be not like.
But what happened? There was other people.
But like, I forgot. I think it was like an interview.
You know,
started smelling like a Snoop Dogg.
You know how many times Terrence was asked, does he have papers?
Yeah, some girls run around like you had papers, but it was funny because I was on the stage.
Just like, I try to be a law-abiding citizen. God damn it!
I was like, because last time I went to Barclays, they took my lighter, so I thought like all venues was on like there's no lighter tips. So I was like, you know what?
God, you know how many times I've been to a concert at Barclays and that shit literally smelled like straight weefer.
Some dudes had Henny bottles on there. I was getting very jealous. Like,
I would say if you're going to a WaleMania, try to bring like a flask because it does get crowded in there, so you can't really go to the bar. So I'll say if you're going to WaleMania next year, bring a flask of some liquor.
Make sure that it's not aluminum.
Yeah.
All right.
Be smart with it.
Make sure it gets your security because some of you fucknuts are literally just gonna go in there with like an aluminum flask or something that's gonna literally go off the metal detectors.
They said the go home show so I could get in here with this. No,
exactly.
We did not say that.
You get the tips. You get the tips here from your boy Chris on how to literally get through security. All right. Just make sure you bring yourself a nice little drink in your flask.
Just play it cool, man.
Just play it cool. Don't act like it's not your first time. Don't be a virgin about it.
Don't be scared when they ask for you on the coat check. Like, we played this move. Like, nah, we cool. We keeping our jackets on.
We good. We
keep
good.
our jackets on. But yeah, WaleMania Def able to go next year.
Well, Chris, you can't do that in Tampa next year because you're gonna be hot. So you better be rocking some cargo shorts.
That's what you bring the ladies around for. Somebody keep the bag on.
Exactly. Make sure she got the nice clutch, not too big, not too small, but just enough right to kind of put it in the pocket.
Spoken to Chris.
All right, next on to Friday.
Friday was a good day. Friday was like, if Thursday, I would say Friday was like All-Star Weekend a little bit because that was like.
That was really the takeoff show.
Yeah, that was like the day where everything really started to kick in. Because Chris checked out Rev Pro, NXT. They went to NXT Takeover watch party that night. I wasn't able to go, but we have Rev Pro and NXT. Chris, want to start off with Rev Pro? How'd you like it?
Rev Pro was dope. Definitely, you always get some really good matches in there. Main event of that was definitely you had Tanahashi and Ospreay go off against Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. And automatically that was definitely going to be a banger, like for sure. Best part, got to meet Shibata, got to meet Tomohiro Ishii and Zack Sabre Jr. that same day.
Ooh.
Especially with Shibata, like the guy's a fucking legend. It sucks, having to retire off of that really gruesome head injury.
Oh yeah, I saw that on the Reddit
page. Yeah, like that really sucks. So before actually kind of like approaching him, he was checking out the matches and he definitely had like that Daniel Bryan look, like like I wish I could still kind of be in there. So he's still working kind of like behind the scenes, training the guys.
Now hopefully he could get back. You never want to see.
Yeah, but it was pretty bad. Like I know it definitely affected like his neural systems.
Hopefully you could put like a Tyson Kidd or something.
Yeah, you never know. You definitely never know. But Rev Pro was dope. So that was like a thing that was the second one. Actually, the second year that I got a chance to check out Rev Pro. Then afterwards, headed out to Jack Dempsey's for NXT Takeover because it was honestly it was impossible for you to get tickets. And to sit up and pay $250 for shitty ass seats at Barclays all the way up to $200 in the back. It's not even worth it. I'd rather spend that at a bar, which again, shout out to them. Shout out to Yet Movement, who hosts these really cool parties, viewing parties anytime there's a really big WWE event.
A lot of people came out and it was raining that day. Like it was like really gloomy and all
that.
Yeah.
You didn't know what the day was gonna be like. Whether it was gonna be a full rainstorm or it was gonna be a light drizzle. But it was definitely a packed house.
Crowd was hot in there. Everybody was chanting. Crazy.
Audio was on blast. The wings was popping. The drinks were flowing.
Now I love their drink specials though. Their drink specials there is really good.
Yeah, and they always have like their pretty cool signature menu. So that was good. But overall, how can I put this? NXT always steals the show every fucking Mania week. But they had competition this year. And we'll get into a little later, but the G1 Supercard literally
matched it.
It matched it.
Okay, that's
it matched it, But overall, in terms of quality, TakeOver still takes the cake.
It's still number one.
And I want to put the news flash out there. You know, just today, I'm actually gonna post that on the gram later. But we actually did have a 5-star match, and it wasn't a New Japan match.
5.5.
Oh yeah, 5.5. It wasn't the 6. It wasn't the Toki.
It wasn't completely 6. Maybe if it did, it might have been a 6 or a 7. You know, Obi-Wan Kenobi, also known as Dave Meltzer.
We almost got a 5-star Mania match.
Almost, but no cigars.
No cigars.
I think the lowest one they rated was the women's match. I believe it almost got 4 stars.
Okay.
I think it could have deserved the full 4, but the main event, Gargano and Adam Cole.
Some people are calling the best WWE match in history. I don't know about
I don't know about history, but it was really
it was
definitely
definitely a good match. It got 5.5 stars. For me personally, and this match did not disappoint. Pete Dunne,
yes,
and my man
Walter,
my man Chris.
He lived up to the hype.
That match, right, Chris. Like, if you really want to talk about what a banger was,
that was a banger. That was a banger.
My chest was hurting, and I wasn't even in that match.
Remember last episode, Chris said he could take 3 chops, and I looked at him after the first Walter chop, and I was like, "You sure about 3?" After that first one,
yeah. If you're Brian, you sure?
My chest wouldn't come out that messed up.
Nah, that match was super fire.
But that match,
I was going crazy.
That match was like, you really want to talk about British strong style. That was it. You know, it wasn't the first time that, you know, a German really beat the shit out of a British guy before. You know, it's been proven in history.
Come on, Chris. We're trying to make it to episode 3.
We're trying to make it to episode 3. No, but
3 here.
that match was definitely something for me. I thought that was a 5-star just coming off. They got close to it.
That's true. Now, before we jump, I have 2 things I really loved about that match. That was actually, I don't know, have you checked out a Walter match before?
No, actually, my first time.
This was my first time too. Walter. I was like very impressed. I love like his moveset. I like how like he can do everything, and then like his size adds to the moves. Like every move he does has a purpose
because he's a big boy.
Yeah,
and he's bringing in with that thump.
It was like one boot, and I was watching with my friend,
and it wasn't like monster. Like it was like a lot of precision, a lot of just good accurate striking and stuff like that. It just wasn't to make a statement. It was to make a statement, but not like in a monster type to like scare you. It's like, yo, I really get busy.
And then even with the finish with him jumping off the top rope, I didn't even know he went to the top rope.
He went to the top
rope.
I
was like, where he's going? And I was like,
in a big match like that, sometimes you gotta go for that high risk maneuver.
And then the other thing I really love about the match, going into it, I thought they were going to go to like the basic, like David versus Goliath.
No,
like, and they didn't have none of that. No, and I really like that aspect of this match.
Especially a lot of people who have watched either both competitors' matches, they know exactly what's going to go on. I think some people, you know, for the regulars who don't normally go and watch anything besides WWE, they're going to be like, oh, what is this? I've seen Pete Dunne before in his NXT things, and Walter, who is this guy? You know, he seems Russian. He seems like he's part of the Cold War. You know, was he part of the Cuban Missile Crisis? Like, I don't know.
I thought I saw him on Eastern Promises.
You know, Walter, he could be like a good Bond villain.
Yes,
like Walter could be like a very good Bond villain.
I like his theme song too. Like,
everyone was singing along.
Like, at the watch party?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Like, this was like, no, but even at TakeOver, like, everyone was just chanting along, and it was like, wow.
Is that the same? He carried that theme song from the Indies too? They was able to bring that over, or that's something kind of new?
That was definitely something different.
That's how you know he was hot. It's a new theme song, and people was just like singing along already.
Yeah.
That's lit. Now, I was very impressed with Walter. First match, and that was probably one of my anticipated matches for the whole weekend, so that really lived up to the hype and then more.
I think that was my favorite match of the night.
For TakeOver?
It was not the best match, but it was my favorite match.
For me, that was one of my favorite matches of the night. And again, everyone who's seen Pete Dunne and seen Walter, you know exactly what kind of match you were getting themselves into. It wasn't like an underdog. It wasn't. Even though like this was probably one of the first matches Pete Dunne has ever walked into. You know, with the NXT UK title.
Mm-hmm.
Really being the underdog. 600.
I liked it though. 600 days, and you gotta go through like a big
days.
Motherfucker to carry
Modern
that shit. That was
like
a good story.
685 days. I kind of saw it happen. I believe that was my prediction. I had Walter going to repeat.
I think we all had a Queensland.
agreed.
Yeah, I think it was happening, but it definitely is gonna make Pete Dunne's story
makes the star even brighter too, because like his star is a little brighter, like very good.
Exactly,
defeat, and then free him up, he may be able to switch brands. Maybe keep it UK still.
He's literally that. For now, that's where I want him.
Okay.
I think him being especially like the face of that NXT franchise, it makes sense for now.
Yeah, because who would Walter face next? Like,
that's true.
They'll probably try to draw out
it's
a rivalry there.
That's all good. Anything else from TakeOver you guys loved?
Riddle and the Dream. That was another phenomenal.
I wasn't
match.
expecting that finish. I think we all kind of picked Riddle. So shout out to Triple H.
I picked Dream.
You picked Dream?
I'm about to tell you.
Hold on, roll the footage.
And he also Dream came in with that hot entrance as well.
Nah, that was swaggy.
The Statue of Liberty?
Dream
Come on,
swaggy.
man.
It was a lot.
Yeah, I was saying Dream over.
I was saying Dream because Triple H does this. He always like, yeah, this is how I book, and then he'll like give us a little swerve, like.
And just even with the finish, it's gonna add a little bit more controversy to it. So it's gonna be like Matt Riddle had him beat.
Matt Riddle didn't lose nothing out of that either.
No, he didn't lose nothing out of
it. And I think that was also one of the things that they do very well down there. They do something very well where
looking
they try
good in
to
defeat.
They'll book you in that way, like wow, like this was a
even
really
Dream when he first went
match.
black, he lost, and then his star like rose after that.
Exactly.
So shout out to the booking team down there. Fatal 4-Way, I loved it. I didn't expect Shayna to retain. I'm still happy because that's my girl. I love.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. And again, bright start of that match, Bianca Belair.
Yeah, she's really good.
I mean, she fucking killed it. She was doing her thing. She shined. And again, I see a lot of good things for her in the future.
Yeah, I think she takes the belt next, or is it gonna be?
A lot of people have this thing that you need to have a title to kind of put you at a mountaintop
at the spot.
And honestly, especially in NXT, that's never really the case.
I feel like she might be a good chaser.
She'll.
I feel like she's a good
eventually, chaser. Eventually, she'll definitely held that title.
But she doesn't need it.
But no, she doesn't. Like, I think especially if they build on what she's having, they've done a really great job the last 5 or 6 months. They had her as she was undefeated. She hasn't really lost cleanly. She's been in a couple of tag matches. Other people have taken the loss. So they've done a really good job. For me personally, she's money.
Now she's money.
She's definitely money. I love to see that.
She has the total package. Like, everything's there. By the time she gets to the main roster.
Yeah.
Going forward, I wonder if they might be able to, since like use like real life, they like might bring her with the Street Profits, make her like the female manager. But we'll talk about that another day. The main event, that was money.
The main event though, give a little shout out to the first match.
Oh yeah, the tag team match was good.
Yeah.
Nice little swan song. Shout out Malcolm. I forgot about. But that was a nice little. It was good for me. It was good seeing like both. It was like both sides of the coins and like different wrestlers. Because you had Black more the powerhouse, and then Ricochet's more like the airy Springer.
Yeah.
Hanson on the other side was like their version of the Spring, and the other War Raider.
I really like the War Raiders.
You mean War Machine?
No,
War Machine.
I'm trying to
Raiders.
we on iTunes now, Chris. We can't be thrown off the air.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nah, I really like those guys though, but
I'm sorry, guys. If you guys listen to this, I totally completely apologize.
I think my one concern, and then I see it now with like people that's on the main roster now, that's from NXT, like they have the whole gimmick and stuff like that. When they get to the main roster, I wonder what's gonna happen with that.
We talked about the last episode, like
because sometimes that doesn't translate as well. And even though people are good wrestlers, like the Revival and stuff like that.
It's also the simple fact that you have people that really don't watch NXT.
You gotta make them care.
You gotta make them care. And even they put it out there, they're like, oh, like I don't really watch NXT. And I know a couple of people like that. I try to literally preach like, no, you have to watch NXT. Like, it's a really good product. What they have down there, it's a really great product. Triple H and his entire team down there, they kill it all the time. Shawn Michaels has been producing a lot of fucking awesome matches. 5-star caliber.
Yeah, you could see he's having a lot of fun.
He's having a great time, and even at his age, the guy still looks stacked. He's still looking stacked. I got a chance to see him at Axxess, not at Axxess, at WrestleCon, and boy, still in shape.
He can still go.
You know, his eye's still a little shifty, you know, but he's walking fine. He got that Arab money from Saudi Arabia.
You hear that, AJ? He's still ready to go.
He's still ready to go. I'm pretty sure.
Down the line, maybe.
I definitely think there, if anything, there could be that one-off. That's it.
I'll take that.
It's definitely a one-off. I don't see anything going completely bananas.
No little feud, anything. Before we wrap up TakeOver main event thoughts, how'd you feel?
5.5 stars.
I think it deserved it.
They really
it was a great match, great storytelling. Especially how some people was complaining about Ciampa coming out at the end.
That was.
I was like, that was great.
It was definitely it was great poetry, to be quite honest. Him coming out at the end, congratulating Johnny and Candice. Like Candice kind of
doing it his way.
It was doing it his way. You know, and I think at the end that's kind of like, you know, because of the injury, they definitely had to switch some things up. But it was definitely like a really good ending to the story that will definitely continue. He came out there, you know, very genuinely. He came with the brace out. And Candice was just like, yeah, like, you know,
it's over. Come on,
it's over. Like, you know, I'm
like
embracing
family.
my boy. We're family. You know, he was like, I was your best man at your wedding. I was there.
They see
we
the
went
IG
to Disney
pics
together. I was there.
One thing I liked about the finish, like we were just talking about, he did it his way. I kind of saw how he won the North American Championship from Ricochet, like using the Ciampa way. So him winning the big goal by wrestling, Johnny wrestling, was really good.
Yeah, it was kind of like, I got to step into Big Brother. Big Brother was actually saying the right things. It's like, sometimes you can't be nice. You gotta win. Whatever you ever have to do, go and do what you need to do by any means necessary.
And I kind of like, because I think I had Cole winning. I thought they was going to prolong. But I feel like Gargano, this was his moment. And I kind of like what maybe they're shaping up with Gargano being the champion, now having to worry about Undisputed Era in the numbers game, though. Hold on to that championship.
Well,
so,
you know,
like
spoilers alert.
I peeped.
You know, there's some stuff that's been going on with Undisputed. We'll talk about that.
But I like that little facet, like the champion, underdog, outnumbered with the numbers game, Undisputed. I kind of like that.
Exactly. Twist. It was also a great finish. You had everyone come.
Yeah, I thought it was over. Maybe like 2 pinfalls before it happened. I thought it was done.
Johnny was not about to let that happen. He was like, "I'm not letting my shoulders go down to the count of 3."
That was Super Saiyan 2 Johnny right there.
It definitely was. But Friday was lit. That set the tone. And then Saturday, we have Chris at House of Glory, and then we had Hall of Fame, and then Chris was at G1 Supercard,
and I was at WrestleCon.
WrestleCon.
That was
the everywhere day.
My day started off at about 8 a.m. that morning.
Jesus.
8 a.m. I didn't make it back home until maybe about 2 a.m. It was a very long day. Only to be up for a fucking monstrous day.
The next day.
The Holy Grail Super Bowl of wrestling, of professional wrestling, WrestleMania.
The granddaddy of them all.
The granddaddy of them all.
How was just a quick tidbit? How was like House of Glory? I always wanted to check out a show.
House of Glory was dope. It was a really cool venue. It was actually up by Jamaica, Queens. You had LAX and Low Key. They had a 6-man tag match against Tajiri-san, Pentagon Jr., and the Great Muta. So that on the other side was definitely a legendary. It was great. Great card. They put on a great show. I know they have a show coming up on Cinco de Mayo, you know, getting their free plug in there.
They do.
It's going to be House of Glory versus Impact Wrestling.
Oh, that's cool.
So tickets are on sale.
New York, Canada.
It's going to be the same spot in Jamaica, Queens.
Oh, might have to check that out.
You know, Cinco de Mayo.
I'll be with it.
Go to houseofglory.com for tickets.
You might have to make that move.
Nah, it looks dope. I'll definitely be down. Hall of Fame. We're not going to get into it. We talked about it. We're just going to talk about one incident at the Hall of Fame.
Well, no, that's Saturday itself. I think we're probably going to talk about more what happened on Saturday night than really what happened on Raw.
That was like a weird night.
Or Mania.
Yeah, it was a weird night.
So this was my, I want to kind of go into my WrestleCon story.
Okay.
Because it kind of ties in because this actually became a little bit of an inside joke. So for a long time, I wanted to meet Bret Hart. 20 years in the making, but I finally got it done. Stood in line for 2 fucking hours, you know, and I had a jacket signed, and I was like, all right, we got to get this done. We got to get this done. Finally get up to him, and I actually, you know, it took me about 2 or 3 weeks to try to get the right pen to set on the satin jacket, my chalk line jacket. And finally get there, jacket spread out, you know, shake his hand, chopping up a little bit, and he signs it. He's trying to sign it, you know, because he's like, all right, what do you want me to sign? I'm like, can you sign it, you know, at the skull part? So he's just like, you know, it's better if you sign it, in the black. It looks pretty cool. And I was just like, look, I tried it. Okay, it's not gonna work out. As I got the lightest pink possible is not gonna come out. So I was like, you know, just sign it there. And he's like attempting to sign the black, and I'm like, Brett, if you fuck this up. If you fuck this up, you're about to get that. You literally about to get super kicked like Sean did when you were in that wheelchair. Don't fuck my shit up. There's a reason why I told you to do it in white. I've been experimenting this for about 2 or 3 weeks. So 3 times, and it was like the Canadian thing of him. He's like closing in. He's like, are you sure? And I'm like, God damn it, Brett, just fucking sign.
Chris was about to tell him, I always liked the Owen better anyway.
It was like, there's a reason why Owen hated you. So finally, you know, you finally signed it, and it was cool. But then flashing forward to the Hall of Fame night, he got some fucking jackass comes out the fucking stands.
Jackass for real.
Yeah, he really was. Like it was a very interesting setup. Usually they done everything on the stage. Right with the Tron. So this year, you know, they had everything signed up on
in the middle, right?
In the middle, they had a ring set up. It was cool. It was refreshing. You know, not the same fucking shit that we see all the fucking time.
And I kind of like it though, because I always thought like Hall of Fame, you give like the inductees one last pop coming down to the ring, like come in, like a little swan song. So I kind of like that idea.
It was cool. It was definitely something different. And it was actually probably one Hall of Fame class that I actually wanted to do. Normally other years there might be 1 or 2 people that I might want to see, but this was actually like a fully stacked G1. Apparently, you know, they took my, you know, they took my money first. They
gave you an offer you couldn't refuse. Man.
Exactly.
I wouldn't refuse it either.
You know, and we'll definitely get into that. But then the guy goes ahead and attacks him. So at that moment, while that was going on, I'm at the Garden G1, and I think it sucked because it was a really great match that was going on.
With the Enzo and Cass coming out, or something else?
No. Funny thing, that actually happened about 10 minutes apart.
That's the thing, because I saw my Twitter, I saw that, and I'm like, why is everybody coming into the ring today?
No, that when the whole Bret Hart thing started, they had the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match for the New Japan for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles and the ROH titles.
Okay.
So it was winner take all. And it was a really great match.
But it was not like getting unified. It was just for both titles.
It was for both titles. And then somehow a lot of people lost, you know, some attention to it because everyone's feet started to go off about Bret Hart being attacked at the Hall of Fame. And a friend of mine, Dean.
Shout out to Dean.
Shout out to Dean.
What up, Dean?
He ends up literally sending me a photo, and it was basically saying, you know, like, oh, fan, Bret Hart reconciles with fan. And so the kind of the whole background story to that was like, if Bret would have signed the jacket the wrong way, that obviously that I didn't want him to sign, that was probably going to be me attacking him like, you motherfucker. I mean, I wouldn't go that extreme. As sometimes as a wild card and unpredictable that can honestly be.
Chris would have been a takeover at Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Chris was saying
like Seth Rollins.
Chris was saying at the G1, he was overthinking it. He looked at his phone. He said, "Sent the word." He sent the text.
Yeah, he sent the word. You did the Kevin Nash. You did the Kevin Nash.
It was just like, do what needs to be done. Match is over. Pop is going on. All of a sudden, I see someone running from the crowd. All I see was some blonde hair just kind of, you know, whiffing through the air, and there's nothing. And I'm still looking hard. I'm like, who is that? And I see they hop over the ring, and I'm like, yo, that's Enzo and Cass.
Which I feel is a good time. I like them teaming up on the indies. I feel like they can make
it
some
was
money.
crazy the way the match was already over at the time, so they didn't interfere.
That was during the Bully Ray match, right?
No. This was
with the tag team.
This was still going on during the tag team.
But
match.
Bully Ray and them did come out during that.
Bully Ray did come out, and I'm like, okay, so secured. I'm like, at this moment, I'm like, this has to be a work. There's no way that they're just allowing someone to kind of do a run in. As crazy, Enzo is sometimes.
He ain't that damn crazy.
He's not that damn crazy to hop over the rail. And then seeing him with Kaz, who, they kind of like, set bullshit aside. They came together.
Yeah, they both hit the bottom. It was like, yo,
yeah,
come on.
like I know their relationship with each other, like they kind of strained a little bit, but they came back, and a lot of people didn't know what was going on. No one knew if this was a shoot. No one knew that they just this is Enzo doing another publicity stunt of some sorts. No one knew what was going on at all, and a lot of people were very were very closed off what was going on. And from my sources, this was definitely a work. Very few people knew what was going on. Very few people from New Japan knew, but this was definitely like a Ring of Honor type of thing.
Oh, okay.
Because no one knew. No one knew during this match.
Terrence, we should have known because he was at WaleMania too.
He was at WaleMania. I think after we left, he was trying to rap, and they said delete, and I was like,
that was also pretty fucked up. I honestly don't understand where people have this huge hate
for Enzo. Yeah, I don't know. Either.
Like, because people would hear like, oh, he's obnoxious, he's this, he's that. I met the dude a couple of times, and he's honestly like, generally like one of the really, he's a real fucking cool, down to earth kind of guy, But everybody was like shouting, "Fuck you, Enzo."
I think because he kind of has like that '90s attitude era mindset.
Yeah, it's just like, fuck you. I'm still gonna do me. I'm the smallest guy in here, but I got the fucking loudest bark of anyone in this fucking room.
I'm swagging.
But it was a fucking pop. I know from what I've heard, they haven't signed anything official. It ain't official tissue yet.
As it shouldn't be.
Like, it shouldn't be.
Not the mystery.
Yeah, but this was definitely, like something that might be in the works. Nothing hasn't been set in stone, but for me personally, I thought this was a fucking awesome moment. It was a weird Saturday night, but it definitely.
Shout out to them. I just realized it was in the Garden too.
It was at the Garden.
You leave the WWE and you pay it the next.
They were wearing Still Certified shirts, so automatically you already knew something was up. Something had to be up, but it also did take away from the Tanahashi and Zack Sabre Jr. Match. Mm-hmm. Because they were already running promos and they already started to come down to the ring and no one knew what was going on. You had New Japan officials come down like, "Oh, are we stopping this?"
I mean,
like,
what was they saying though?
No, like they were just trying to barricade. They were trying to really just separate everyone after it was a melee for about 5 to 10 minutes. So at that moment, not seeing security literally not do anything at all, I was like, okay, this is definitely a work. This was definitely something. They got escorted out, just like, hey, we're just gonna push you out. Nothing like, Enzo getting kicked out of like Survivor Series where he basically got handcuffed. No, nothing too rough. But they was just like, no, sir, you have to leave, sir. You gotta go.
You don't work here.
You don't work here.
But
you just got the nicest escorting out of the Garden. Nothing like some James Dolan shit, but he is allowed to come back.
How would you rate G1? I want to see like how was the environment in Madison Square Garden for the show?
It was great. They came out with bangers. Matches were fucking awesome. Definitely had a couple of key highlight moments. Originally, it was supposed to be Bully Ray against Juice Robinson in a New York Street fight. They showed earlier in the night. Juice got attacked, and Bully Ray comes out. He's like, all right, who's going to be the next one to step up? And there's been a long rivalry between him and Flip Gordon. And Flip, I didn't think would actually even be available because I know, this is where we all got swerved. We all got swerved because I remember about 2 weeks before they said that he was actually going to end up missing the G1 because he actually re-injured the same knee. Ooh. So he retore. So that was the news that was going around. He's not going to be around. I'm like, fuck.
Like Flip.
And this was originally, so, this was actually cool for him to come back. And it was a little bit of a Tommy Dreamer incident. Not an incident, but it was a moment where he basically started getting hit by candlesticks by everybody in that ring. And he was just asking for more.
Flip?
Yeah.
Oh, Flip.
Flip Gordon. You know, so that was actually that was a pretty dope moment.
Is it true that I seen some reviews on G1 that New Japan held up their end and Ring of Honor was not that good?
I didn't really see it that way.
How you seen it?
I saw it. I saw it literally as
50-50.
one show. But I think especially with New Japan, because there was a lot of more buzz that
From
was from their side. I think that's what made it. I mean, you had Kota Ibushi go up against Tetsuya Naito, and that was a fucking great match. That was like almost a 5-star match. Kota came up on top. He won the Intercontinental title.
Dakota.
But it was honestly, it was dope. It was a fucking awesome fight.
How you felt about the main event, Okada, Jay White?
I was like, to be honest, I was actually a little bit surprised because there were more pro Okada than Jay White. And
you tried to, since he's on USA soil, that'd be flipped.
No, but I think I looked at it from the Mark starting point where everyone's like, oh, Bullet Club, I've got to represent, and honestly, that wasn't even a thing, and a lot of it was because we were what I talked about this the last show, not having the elite there,
exodus of the
exactly, so there wasn't as many BC things that hype beasts as you would have normally seen if they were there.
Big guns was gone.
Exactly. But like I said, Bullet Club is fine, even though Jay White did lose a title, and Okada became the 69th IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
Okada is back. My man's back on top of the mountain.
Which that spot should have been held to
Kenny.
No, it should have been held to Gucci-san, but that's a whole different story. That's an inside joke for some people who might get it.
I would say before we jump into Sunday, I know now that they ran Madison Square Garden, you was able to see it. How did you feel like New Japan Ring of Honor held the fan interest in a big venue for like a long show?
They held interest.
Okay.
It was, and it was actually long. It was a good 4-hour night, to be honest. From beginning to end, it held my interest.
Okay. Now, because
every match for me definitely did it. The Ring of Honor Championship match was also great. The triple threat match between Matt Taven.
Yeah, I must say, how you feel about Matt grabbing the title?
If you weren't pro Matt Taven, you're a Melvin. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
Shout out to Matt. He gave us a little shout out.
He gave us a shout out. So it's not because we're trying to give him high praise, but he's actually
Yeah, there's no pay all over here.
There's no pay, but the Kingdom came up on top. He came up on top. A lot of boos. And again, it's better to have some reaction, a lot of reaction than no reaction. So a lot of people were, we're mostly Jay Lethal, him being a local kid.
He had his time.
Yeah, he had his time. Longest tenured guy at Ring of Honor, especially holding that title. But that was also a great match. Jeff Cobb, Will Ospreay, another banger. Ospreay came up a little short.
Oh, poor Ospreay.
He came up a little short.
Sorry, Ospreay. Maybe next year.
But it was honestly great. This sets precedent.
It was really a good.
It was a good
back
show.
To back.
I
I
definitely see them coming back to the Garden sometime soon. I believe this was their. With a lot of, they've done a couple of Global Wars here in New York, but this was actually, I felt for me personally, it was Ring of Honor hosting because they always hold these supercars, but I think it was a lot of more New Japan than anything.
And they haven't been on the East Coast
it stamped them hard in the East Coast. Right?
Yeah, this was honestly like their first we're in the East Coast, we're at the Garden, it's Mania week, we're not even fuck WWE at this moment. This is our show. We're doing it. We're making noises. We're not doing it for anyone else. We're doing it for us.
Especially the Garden too. I know Vince. He hated that.
But you know what? They did what they needed to do, and that's why they stood. Yeah.
Because even it looks so much better too from Ring of Honor's perspective when they having the champions taking those photos the billboards of the Garden. It looks so much cleaner and you say oh, this is really a big time promotion if they have the Garden.
Exactly.
So shout out to Ring of Honor getting that Garden date. We want to jump into
those pictures is probably the reason a couple of people got fired by Vinnie Mac. You know, he probably just I don't know if y'all heard about it. The Bret Hart thing, the guy that ran the segment, he got fired for the whole incident.
How he got fired? He didn't tell the fan to jump.
He got fired for.
First of all, I know from what I've heard, a couple people got canned after that situation.
Like security wise, or like
Barclays security is trash.
Oh yeah, they have to. Like if somebody's attacking Bret Hart.
Well, not only that, but I know me personally, I've been to quite a few events at Barclays, and it's really not that hard to you to kind of go and sneak around a couple of different places, especially if you're trying to get into like a suite or anything like that. I remember going into an Isles game one time and got a chance to sit up in the glass, and I sat really right where their family was. I didn't get any stick, but I figured like, you know, their policy is like as long as you're not here to cause shit and you're not, you know, here to cause any type of ruckus, like just shut the fuck up and sit down and enjoy the show. That's all it is. Yeah, I think that's the way it should be.
Vince also he had fined a few officials that got a couple of things wrong during Mania.
Yeah, I know Vinny was tight because you know Vinny hates anything to like mess up the show. You got a fan jumping in and hitting Bret Hart. Like, and Bret Hart's funny. He was like, ooh.
Yo, Bret really showed his age. He really showed his age. But the licks that
shout out to Wilder.
Yeah, they were wilding on him, as they should. Like
Dash Wilder got a huge pop at Mania when he got tagged in. Like he got a huge pop.
Like you should not be jumping.
Yeah, that punch alone got him in the Hart family. Like he's set for life.
He really did. Only. Stu, if Stu was still alive, rest in peace, he would be like, "You're officially a Hart." Yo, but you know, it's the guy's literally a fucking scumbag because now this just ruins it for a lot of people. I think they're probably
gonna switch it to the other.
Yeah, thing. I won't be surprised if they go on that route.
They threw out some reports earlier on Vince's thinking about just not having fans at all at Hall of Fame.
No, it's probably gonna. I think it's probably gonna be like that lower part of the section. It's gonna be like you guys are gonna literally sit out there and not going to be anywhere near wrestlers. I think that's probably going to be
enjoy the projects.
But at the same time, security was trash.
Lacking.
It was lacking big time, and that also played a big factor as well.
It's the perfect storm, but not for Bret Hart.
Exactly. But even the reason for him, the guy who attacked Bret, he literally just said, "I felt that it was a great opportunity." I was like, "What are you trying to do?"
Yeah, wrestling. Some people they wire differently, but. We're not giving that clown any more clout. Sunday, Mania Sunday. Everybody enjoyed it?
Yeah, overall.
How was your Mania Sunday? Chris was everywhere.
I was everywhere. I did Mania Club, so shout out to them. They held, this was my first Mania Club event that they had. They always have these tailgate parties.
I seen Stephanie was there.
Stephanie came out. She and Santino, who was also with her, and a lot of people kind of like completely... didn't pay attention to him.
Steph!
Wow.
They're like, hello, Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, I seen Stephanie was in a jersey that they was giving out to tailgate.
She came in. She definitely showed some love. They were doing some donations in there for Connor's Cure. They were able to raise $5,000. A lot of people pitched in.
Shout out to them.
So if you guys do in Tampa next year, you guys want to check out Mania Club, definitely go ahead. Mania Club, you can also follow them on Instagram. You can purchase tickets, tailgate party for 4 or 5 hours, top liquor, food, all that stuff included.
That's very good.
So it's definitely like pretty dope scene that they had. It was a great setup, so shout out to them. Already gave them praise. They gave us a shout out back, so definitely kudos to them.
Shout out to them. Shout out to the squad.
But it was definitely a cool, chill vibe. Stephanie came out. Mania itself, long day.
Long.
It was long.
What you got there before the show? You saw any kickoff, or you got there?
No, I literally got there right when it started.
Okay, so you didn't do like the extra Mania challenge where you stayed for like the kickoff. Like people that will watch the kickoff show.
No. I that's the time I got in.
You did? Oh,
I did.
okay,
Yeah, I saw the.
I'm glad they let a lot of y'all in like before kickoff started.
Yeah, I also got to thank my plug. Worked with her for a while. We got some awesome seats.
Shout out to the plug.
Pretty much got to walk around ringside a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Not a little different. But again, it was definitely a cool night. Some really cool entrances. The pyro, everyone gets it. We only get to really the one time we get them in the States. Other than that, you know, we're going to see them in Saudi Arabia for the next show because they definitely go all out. They got that Arab money. You know, Vinnie Mac is, I got this 60 mil, baby.
That oil coming in now, man.
You want ref? You get a pyro. You get a pyro. You get a pyro.
Michael Cole get a pyro. Like,
fans get a pyro.
There's going to be literally like a shot of like pyro every time he says one of two things. Either it's going to boss time or Michinoku driver. Every time something goes off,
fireworks.
You're gonna get fireworks. It's like there goes Michael Cole again. That's literally the new drinking game.
I don't know if Boss Tom is getting any pyro these days.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that. But no, my Mania Sunday was lit for me. I actually checked out my lovely Mets before Mania, and the fun thing about that, I actually took a weed edible at the game.
Of course.
Yeah, so
he was like, "Oh man, it hasn't said it."
Yeah, because we was getting blown out, so I had to get somewhere.
Terrence was in
Who was getting blown out again?
The Mets. We was by Washington.
Did you hear that, Met fans?
But we made a comeback. I was at like the bar at the club level, and they started making their comeback. But then I left before the ninth inning, so the game. When I left, it was 12-6. They scored 3 runs in the ninth, so it was 12-9. But we lost. But I had a good time. That started off my Mania, and then I checked out Mania. Truly on my edible trip when I was feeling on the 7 train.
Terrence was like, "Oh, the Mania start yet? I just had an edible."
Now I timed it perfectly.
He was like, "These edibles ain't shit." He decided to kick in
because I wanted to at least have it kicked in before I got back to apartment to check out Mania. So the Mets Mania was really good. I came in like the tag team match. Overall, I thought Mania was a really solid show. I feel like. Watching it on TV, it came across very solid. I have not too many complaints about Mania.
Also, shout out to the local kids from the New York area that literally came and shined. Kurt and Zach. Tony Nese, Long Island
Zach
boy.
brought his annual win. Always at WrestleMania.
Annual win. He got his tag team title. Kurt Hawkins loses a streak. He's up there. It was almost a 300, losing streak. That's over.
Shout out to Mella is money.
Mala.
That had to be fun for like the New York, New Jersey.
Yeah, like it was definitely cool. Guess close to locally that you could probably have Triple H from Connecticut.
Yeah.
Tri-state ties. Tri-state ties.
That's a little far.
Speaking of, before we get into like the big 3 matches, that Triple H Batista match. I think people before that match wanted Batista to get in a couple of feuds with a couple of the young guys. Mm-hmm. Before the match even started, I was like, he's done.
Yeah, you can tell this is Batista's like this is like.
You seen what he did when he was like going in the ring? He crawled in the ring.
Oh, he botched that. I don't know if it came out on a network. I don't know.
He botched it.
I don't know if that was shown, but I remember seeing him stumbling in like the Shockmaster.
Yeah, went too many shots in them SUVs.
Not only for this, it was already a weird day because what a lot of people don't see is some of the stuff that they don't show behind cameras. So everyone knows how Big Dave came in with the drip. He came in with the Escalade, and what people don't see is how the Escalades, they kind of go back to where they were. It was like kind of like a secret storage behind the actual stage.
Oh yeah, because they kind of like
So cameras don't show that. Homeboy couldn't even park at all, and I don't know if you guys really noticed why that entrance went a little too long.
I thought it went a little too long.
And not only that, but also Triple H's went a little too long before his 4-wheeler came out. They couldn't get the car back in right behind the stage.
Wow.
It was like
so the same way he came in one car, he couldn't do it. It was literally like
they couldn't get Taker to come out there and like spin the
I know
motorcycle up.
It's like that scene in Austin Powers where he's basically trying to back up, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I was like, wow, who the fuck did they fucking hire?
Vince was like, get this car through. Wait, damn it.
I was just like, I hope you're not an Uber driver.
Nah, Vince probably told him a new asshole back there. Like, I'll pay you to drive?
It was like, this show is long enough already. I'm trying to cut ties. I already had to cut Oscar's match.
Oh, my God, baby.
They killing me out here, G.
It's why Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe only have 5 minutes.
They literally came out. They swung a few times and just went right back to stage.
Yeah.
I don't remember how the match even ended.
Triple H went over. It was actually a pretty cool, decent match. Nothing crazy. For what it was, I appreciate it.
It reminded me of the Goldberg Lesnar match a few years
get
back.
It done, get it quick,
yeah,
get out.
Give a little pop, do a couple of
No, that's at least they got a pop. That Lesnar Goldberg match at WrestleMania 20 was.
No, I'm talking about the last one that just happened.
Oh,
yeah.
You see, you gotta.
Yeah, the good one, not the bad one.
You gotta be specific because that was a whole fucking shit show.
Nah, that was a shit
Austin
show.
couldn't even save that match.
Nah, he was just like, just stun everybody. Just stun everybody. If there's a fucking kid, just fucking stun him.
Anything you like? You had anything booking wise you didn't like, or like I said, everything like happened on the show.
I'll just say one thing. We thought the AJ Randy match was gonna like do a little thing. They ain't do nothing really.
I thought it was a good match. A lot of people were also complaining about the lights.
Oh yeah, the light. Did you get hit with the lights, or you was good?
No, unfortunately, I haven't been hit with the lights at a Mania, but I know of it because there's been other WWE events that I have gone to, and the lights literally hit you. So people don't understand it because a lot of people are chanting like turn those lights off or we can't see. So people want to go ahead and be like, well, maybe perhaps you should pay more money to get better seats. And it's just like, no, what you don't understand, the lights fucking blind you.
I can imagine like that shit like in your face.
It's even literally during the match. Randy thought that they was getting booed, but people was booing the lights.
No, but even Randy came out and he was just like, sorry, but you guys literally missed a fucking awesome match.
Yeah,
it was really a good match. I liked it. Like everything on this.
I'm surprised we didn't get the RKO setup.
Nah, they saving that for the other pay-per-view.
Yeah, because I don't think this kind of match was
not the blow off. This is like the first.
This was the first one. I think
it was like Nakamura, AJ Styles last year.
Yeah,
this is like the first shot.
This is the first shot. I don't see this just being a one and done. I think they're probably gonna hold something off. Maybe it'll continue to Money in the Bank.
I can see that.
That's how I think it's gonna probably go down. But
any other matches y'all seen that before we get into the big three matches?
That's everything. I liked everything. The Shane Miz match, I liked it for what it was.
Yeah, that was a fun match.
Meltzer gave it a 1 3/4.
Damn, should have been a Tokyo Dome. Probably got to the 3. But I like how they started off with Brock with the Universal Championship. I felt like we talked about last episode, like the pacing of the sequence and the matches have to like really, and I feel like they did a good job. So getting the Universal title out the way felt good to me. Especially
it was like Vince said, let's not waste no time. We getting into this.
I think it was also the way it was done, that being the first match. There's a lot of reasons apparently why that match went on first, but I think they definitely wanted to give Seth his moment. And because especially it being such a long show,
there's only 2 matches, like the opener and the closer. So
and there's a couple of maybe mid-card matches that you're like, okay, this is going to be great, but you kind of wanted to have Seth to have that moment, that pop,
and set the tone
right off the gate, as opposed to let's put this somewhere the 8th match. And a lot of people are already tired. A lot of people are like,
the way that I see it now, they sequenced it like the big 3 matches, the beginning, middle, and end. They all like three have their moments. So it's like a movie. Like
that's how you that's how you have to do it. Like you can't. There's
Spike Malcolm Lee out here.
you can't have so many of these cool down matches.
Vince was on his Marty Scorsese right there. He was like,
he was just
like, I didn't think about that. That's really dope, Malcolm. Like,
now that y'all just mentioned it, I'm like,
no, but that's how it is. That was dope. That's how they really end up booking some of these matches the way how they set it up.
I would say with the Elias thing,
I'm
not gonna lie. I don't know what was going on. I kind of thought CM Punk was going. I don't want to sound like that Mark, but I just heard Chicago. I'm like, whoa, hold up. What you mean Chicago?
Yeah, because they kind of went into the whole
black and
white Babe Ruth calling the shot in Chicago in the World Series. But I'm not gonna lie, that was actually my mark out moment. John Cena coming out to the Dr. Thugonomics.
Mine too. Think you're untouchable. That's like my childhood right there.
Nah, the moment that they said Babe Ruth, I knew that it was Cena because Vince mentioned before.
I also want to say something. Fuck you, CJ. Damn right, I said it. Fuck you.
Fuck
the
you
doctor,
2 times.
2 times. Okay? 2 fucking times. Platinum recording artist. If you got something to say something to him. I've been bullshitting on him for years about this, talking about he trash, and I was like, I don't see you walking around with platinum albums.
That's true. Cena got that platinum album.
He got that platinum album.
This before streams too.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're seeing it would have dropped the album back then. Yeah, he would have been.
Exactly. My man was dropping actual records that people were purchasing.
I'm a bad man.
You know?
My man came out there.
In case you didn't know.
Got that massive pop.
Yo, that was
came
huge.
with the balls. I thought we was at a flex show for him. I'm like, oh, hold on.
I want to see where this character goes.
I don't know.
Do you think it's a one-off, or you think this is official?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
But I loved it. I think because he kind of mentioned on one of his bars, like, basically, I wanted to see, the heel Cena. I think he's like, you really wanted to piss someone off. You really should have came out with a Sox jersey instead of the Babe Ruth. So it was still kind of babyface, but still heelish.
With the New York.
Yeah, I was like, but if you would have pulled some like
Red Sox,
like they coming back, sweeping the Yanks in the 2004 ALCS, and we came back.
Okay,
like I would have been like,
he should have pulled a Colin Jotes earlier. He pulled
with the OBJ.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people didn't catch.
A lot of people didn't catch it, but
I was just
smart
like,
on them guys.
I was just like,
thoughts on Kofi, new Daniel Bryan? I thought it was a great match.
It was, for me, definitely match of the night.
Yeah, match of the night
without hands down.
I feel like in that pop 2 after the win, it didn't go like it went up, and then it was great. That was the moment. Like people came for that moment, they got it.
A lot of people were definitely emotionally involved from the very beginning, and it was a great build up. I think apart from the main event with the triple threat women's match, this one was great, and apparently this wasn't even planned. This wasn't planned for Kofi at all.
Oh, because Mustafa Ali, that was the thing that.
Yeah,
but
but even leading up to it, like the amount of love that he was getting from everyone, especially during the first gauntlet match, where it was beat the clock challenge. A lot of people were really, really behind, and the hashtags Kofi Mania, it was really becoming a thing. So put it like this. No one can honestly complain about what happened at WrestleMania at all. Vince gave people what they wanted.
He gave them everything they wanted.
He gave them everything they wanted. And even then, people still find some way to bitch and complain about it. But he literally gave the people what they wanted.
He definitely did. I give the old bastard that.
I think Vince seen that it transcend out of wrestling. Like, it was just getting so big.
It was definitely getting big.
They had to pull the trigger on it.
Black champ, baby.
The first one.
Champ. Not The Rock. Black champ. But no, he's not going to hold it.
At one point, Ron Simmons came out. I mean, he did it like a segment in Mania. It would have been a little nice if he came out for the little Kofi. He didn't even... it hasn't been done since him.
I kind of like it, though, that they didn't. It was just a new day. Because I feel like if they would have tried to incorporate, like, every black wrestler, then it would seem like pandering.
It was, yeah, but this was, like, the first time that there's been, a black champion holding the company's title
at WrestleMania.
Especially at WrestleMania.
Yep.
So that was really, really, really
winning
great.
It at WrestleMania.
Exactly. And that didn't even have to be, the closing match. Like that itself, for me,
was the climax.
That was a climax. That was really the co-main event. But it was definitely worth the wait.
Shout out to Daniel Bryan. He did a fantastic job. Like
the build up to this was amazing. I think especially the whole calling Kofi a B+ player.
Full circle.
Everything just came full circle.
Well, like to say, Malcolm?
No, I just
long-term booking. We gotta trademark a long-term booking.
But yeah, like you said, I think that match checked off all the boxes, had enough a WrestleMania match. All boxes. The build, the match.
Yeah, I think if Daniel Bryan doesn't play that heel work so good, this doesn't work out as good.
Yeah, I definitely see that match, especially get that rematch at Money in the Bank. Now I might be crazy. But this is probably going to be one of my outlandish things. I honestly see somehow Shane positioning himself. I think he's going to be, he's going to be the new modern day Vinnie Mac. They have already kind of put him into this whole heelish role.
The best in the world versus Kofi.
The best, exactly.
Okay, that'd be cool.
I honestly, I might be crazy. I might be spitballing.
And it's a continuation off of the Vince McMahon messing with Kofi. It's the son now.
Exactly.
That's kind of dope.
So don't be surprised if somehow later on down the line, if this is a route that they want to go and take, because I feel like, someone is probably listening to this and they're like, you know what? That guy Chris has some fucking interesting ideas.
I'll be with that.
Let's run with this. I see this match. I see this playing out somehow. Don't be surprised if somehow Shane comes up, over, takes the strap, But I'm just fucking crazy. I had a couple of
actually.
drinks before
I don't think
here.
you're crazy because last week on SmackDown, when he did the announcement, how to announce him, and then he's gonna look on SmackDown, like, oh, everybody's like chanting for Kofi, and then he's gonna come out like, I'll run SmackDown, like
I'm the best in the world. The best in the world. What's the championship?
Who are you?
The Demon interest. How you liked it?
It was cool.
Yeah, it was dope.
Yeah.
I feel like there was better ones in NXT than the Mania one, and I'm shocked.
I like the ones that he's done prior to coming to the WWE. The one he's done at NXT has been awesome. The stuff that he's done with like
with like the Joker and like the Venom, those are fire.
There's been a couple of stuff that I've seen him do at Wrestle Kingdom that I'm like, this would be dope. But they don't want to go because he's done a couple of other different exactly. And Vinny's like, if I can't own this, I don't want later on to for it to become a thing.
My ass.
Exactly.
Speaking of like interests, a lot of people before Mania, heavy on Twitter was complaining about the stage set.
I liked it.
I liked it.
I like that one.
Everybody's complaining about, Vince didn't put no effort into it. I'm like, he got
it was
widescreen TV. You see when everybody was coming out and you see their logos and stuff like that. It was perfect.
That shit was dope.
Even like when Batista came out, like it looked futuristic. Like it looked like some shit. Like
Triple H's entrance, I honestly don't get. Like they kind of overdid it on this Mad Max thing.
Like this biker.
I was like,
Triple H, come on. You work in the office. You're not in the desert.
I was like, come on.
Those days are over, man.
This particularly wasn't your best.
Yeah, I love Triple H. Like this wasn't one of his.
Him coming up in the Doom buggy was dope, but it was kind of like,
Yeah, but just another thing for people to complain about. I was like, come on, some things,
you can't please the masses.
Certain things, a simple thing like that is just perfect. Like it doesn't have to be over the top all the time. Like it was good. Every time everybody came out, you see their name big and bold and stuff like. It was good. Pyro. Like what's the complaint?
Even Charlotte's entrance. Was definitely came in with some flair.
Top five.
Came in with the helicopter.
It was actually a homage to Ric Flair.
Of course.
We had the stadium match. And
she came in, long setup because obviously that was definitely pre.
I actually like the storytelling there. Becky, her interest was regular, minimal. Mm-hmm. She was just like, I'm not about all that big theatric stuff.
They gave her
I'm the man. Like that's it.
I'm the man.
They gave her a smoke.
What's funny? Speak about the man. Like some like wrestling like males, they have like a problem with the man T-shirt. Not just because it's like they don't want to walk around with a T-shirt saying the man. Like most people don't know like the story behind it. It's just the man.
Get over it.
Well, we know why. Because you're gonna go and spilling some tea, we know apparently
it's Generation X.
It hasn't been confirmed.
Let's just say it's a great week for them.
But it really was. It really, really was. The man is apparently dating a man, Mr. Room 605 Seth Rollins. They've been canoodling. They were even together.
Oh, Becky 3 belts now.
Becky
got 3 belts.
She got 3 belts. They could just be friends. Sometimes you might get a little comfortable with a friend. That might just be.
They get lonely on the road.
That's that Bailey Finn Balor.
Hey, Bailey's a married girl. She's a married girl.
I'll tell the NXT performance cameras.
But
let's run that footage.
We also got the. We also were enlightened of also another relationship that just so happened to come into light. It was also Charlotte's birthday, so big happy birthday to her.
Tranquila.
But she was definitely tranquila.
I like that pairing. I want that to come onto TV too. That's what I was talking about earlier. I would like maybe her saying Selena, I don't need you, and that kind of gives like Andrade a bump because then he's messing with you.
Yes, but at the same time, I mean, it has to be done well to where it
has to be done right. Yeah, but
it has to be done right where it benefits both sides. But I really don't see it happening.
Yeah, they don't need each other.
They don't really need each other. It's not gonna do anything for them at all. But I just thought that was definitely interesting.
Yeah, I noticed everybody was like trying to one up each other couple wise this week. Mania week, you had like Black and Vega, and then you had like Seth and Becky, and then you had everybody just coming out the woodworks. Like I was like, okay, who's next?
Yeah, and it was just like, okay, so where's this new next relationship that's gonna come out?
So Takeover. I'm not Takeover. Triple Threat. Another botch. Triple Threat. Liked it. Loved it.
It was okay.
It was okay. I think it was.
Charlotte can't break a table.
Oh, I saw that happening and it just kind of brought me back to Hell in a Cell between her and Sasha. I was just like, tables is not a thing.
Like, Charlotte, let's stay away from the table.
You know, they was like going too hard. Like Becky was having a lot of trouble like getting the table in the ring. Like she was taking a while. I was like, oh,
maybe it's like the butterflies, because you could talk about wanting the main event, but now that you're in the main event, like all eyes is on you.
I felt like there was no pacing in the match. Like I think that before they came out, they was like telling them like, cause you know they got a curfew at MetLife, so they was like,
boy, that shit ended at 12:30.
Yeah,
there wasn't no fucking damn curfew.
Nah, there's a curfew though. Still, like there's a
12:40?
curfew. You gotta end it like before 1. Like there's a curfew, don't matter what.
I think that's true, because like that's like with Summer Jam. Like,
yeah, with Summer Jam every year, it doesn't matter.
Yo.
They will cut you off. Like so, I felt like the pacing like messed up the match a bit. Like it was a lot of Ronda got hurt.
Yeah, I know she got her she injured her hand.
Little hand.
But they got, I believe it was about a good 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
It was a good match. I'm glad.
It didn't. I don't think it needed to go anything crazy.
I feel like the right person won.
Yeah, it didn't need to go crazy, but the way they started the match was just so.
I kind of maybe feel like maybe because the crowd wasn't, because they were like just like The Walking Dead, The Sitting Dead. Out there now. So as the main event, you expecting the crowd to like give you stuff. And
yeah, but a lot of people were just dead tired.
Like, let's go.
And then you could see that Charlotte, there was a reason she was adding this match. She just added something there, like floor general wise, like because if it was Becky and Ronda, they just would have been going at it. Mm-hmm. Like she was like setting it up. Like
it was definitely a decent dynamic. Yeah, personally,
that was lit. Take Mania. Jesus Christ, I love Taker so much. I keep saying it. Mania, loved it.
Are you trying to go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker?
No, I like a tag team match player. But quick little Raw SmackDown. Me and Chris talked about it earlier. It was like alright shows. Like we thought like more was like happening, but as Chris said, like it's good they may be saving stuff for the shake up next week. I don't know how you guys feel, and then we could.
I thought Raw was good, but people. They should have never let off probably with Kofi and Seth Rollins is going to.
I was actually surprised that was happening, but I was like, how was this? I didn't see someone. I'd be surprised if like legit the titles were both on the line. It was going to be winner take all.
That's WWE. They get like one phrase and they run with it.
Yeah, like winner take all. Like exactly. They're going to run with it.
It was like the gauntlet.
It's like someone saying clout. That was like the most overused.
That was like gauntlet match. Like, somebody was like, "We have a gauntlet match one week." Hold up, that did pretty good. Let's keep running them.
Let's just keep going. Like, let's just roll with the footage. Let's just go. Let's go.
It's about to be winner take all that Money in the Bank for something. Who knows?
SmackDown was cool. It wasn't like too much going on.
Before we get out of here, any predictions for the shakeup? Who you see going where?
I see Braun. Or maybe someone like Brock, probably
I think Brock is going over to SmackDown.
One of those two heavy hitters is definitely going over to SmackDown.
I think Braun is going there. I don't know if y'all seen the segment with him and Samoa Joe. That looked real good.
Yeah.
I think Braun and Samoa Joe. I think it's time to go.
They have definitely good chemistry together. We've seen them what they've done before.
Finn Balor stays on Raw or goes to SmackDown.
I don't know.
I think Becky not Becky. Bailey is going to SmackDown.
Yeah, I think they're going to split up Sasha and Bailey.
Well, there's been a lot of very controversy. We'll probably touch that on the next time. We'll see how it flows.
I know the Usos definitely going to Raw.
Oh, yeah.
That's one. But, yeah.
Will they go with the tag titles? We'll see what happens.
No, they lost to they might get it back beforehand.
I sort of don't want them to go to
What do you mean?
Raw.
Didn't they retain?
No, they lost.
They lost to the Hardy Boys. Yeah, that's how you know Chris was at Mania.
Yeah. No, to be honest, I'm not even going to lie. I think that match itself, I think that was probably one of not to be disrespectful.
Starting to feel it.
I was kind of tired. And I remember I stepped out to try to get some food.
They didn't face them at Mania. They faced them.
That's right. But
I felt like that match should have been at Mania.
No, that match I remember, and I totally forgot. Well, don't worry. No one hear about it. We'll edit that out.
This is episode 2. We had a great time. Next week's episode will be about the Superstar Shakeup. Or the recap, the fallout.
All the rumors.
And where we'll be going next year on the road to WrestleMania 36. This is the Go Home Show. It's Teddy Lucid.